Hello, welcome to Evolve with Natu. My name is Natu. I'm the host of this YouTube channel. In this channel, we talk about a lot of things, but particularly on self-improvement, self-development, and lifestyle. This is a friendly reminder. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, kindly do so and make sure that you share this channel with your family, friends, and all your loved ones. And if you haven't had a chance to watch our previous episodes, kindly do so. Today's episode is a very special episode, and as such, we're going to be conversing both in English and Swahili. I am honored, I am delighted, nimeheshimika, to have a dear friend who I famously call him as a daddy. And I know it's not daddy wala kikate wa kispiritual na nini na baba, but I look up to him as a father. Kheri Mbiro, karibu sana, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Natu.
Thank you for gracing Evolve with Natu. So I brought you here today to shed light on a few things. You as a person, your personal life, your professional life, but mostly your professional life. I know who you are, but the rest of the world doesn't know who you are. So to start with, give us a flavor. Who is Kheri Mbiro? Who is Daddy Kheri for Anita and Natu and now Joanna?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sort of a chameleon. Most people are usually overwhelmed with regards to the things that I do, and they usually tend to struggle with the identity that I'm keeping. So I would say, number one, Kheri is a father, Kheri is a husband, and a friend. I tend to run away from professional and titles that sort of block me or confine me in one space. But professionally, I'm a lawyer, I'm an entrepreneur, and currently traversing into the field of corporate governance and management, as well as project advisory and management. I am a co-founder and partner, senior partner at Breakthrough Attorneys, a corporate commercial law firm that practices in Tanzania, has several branches, including HQ in Dar es Salaam, Dodoma, and now we are also in Zanzibar. With regards to my work on the other side, I'm also president of Project Management Institute, Tanzania Chapter, and which is also, I act as a board chairman. It's a global organization, for those that who do not know, that deals with the excellency and skills and expertise in project management. It's the number one organization in the world. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have several businesses outside of law that includes technology through Breakthrough Technologies Africa Limited. We also do creative sector support with Stargaze Management. We also deal with events. We host weddings, conferences, all the 9 years of events through our outdoor range of venues through a company called Elsa Gardenia Limited. That's among many.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, as I said, I have the privilege of knowing you, and I've known you for a few years now. But for a young boy who's in Ruvuma, who's looking at you, is like, I like that guy in a suit. I like that he's a lawyer. And he's curious, how do I get to become a lawyer someday? Where did your journey start? What inspired you to be the person that you are? And why law? Why not being a basketballer, because you're a good basketballer? Why you're not a teacher? Because you've done a great job maybe mentoring and teaching other people. So where did your journey get started, and how did you get to where you are right now?
Craziest question ever, because funny thing is, I did not start out wanting being a lawyer.
Interesting.
Exactly. So I'll tell you a short story. So we're in high school. Our class had 21 people. And out of 21, 2 or 3 did not wish to be lawyers. I was among those.
You're among those.
So our classroom, actually, they took out Form 5, Form 6 HGL. They took the plaque out. Then they put University of Dar es Salaam, Faculty of Law, Arusha campus.
Oh, wow.
So they were manifesting.
So this is Ilboro, for the people who don't know.
Yes.
You went to Ilboro, okay.
Yes.
One, the special school.
Not feeling that special. Anyways, so out of the 21, 2 or 3 of us did not. What did I want to be? I wanted to be like my father. I wanted to be a HR practitioner. My father is a career human resources practitioner. So I wanted to do that. But then again, when after we graduated from Form 6, now it was time to join university, etc., etc. And when we were picking up courses and colleges, I realized that Mzumbe is the university that stood out for HR, and coincidentally, that's where my father went as well. But then again, I was already sort of fused into the lifestyle, etc., of Arusha and Dar es Salaam. So I was like, Mzumbe, I'm not really sure whether I can.
You can adjust.
Yes, I can adjust. So then I wanted to do University of Dar es Salaam, and then I looked at University of Dar es Salaam, and they didn't have a traditional human resource course there. The closest thing to it was, I think, PSPA, which is political science and public administration. And also I think they had some nuggets and elements of human resources through Bachelor of Commerce. But they weren't the traditional HR. So for me, that was a cross. Then what did I want to do? I wanted to do public advertising, public relations and advertising. But I knew that if I picked that, I wouldn't hear the end of it at home. The parents, I think back then that would be like letting down the family. So I said, okay, law was peaking. Everybody was talking about law. It was time that people were like, you can't get into law. It's tough to get into law. So I did it as a peer pressure challenge, but also it was like the gold standard for people that did humanities and social sciences in high school. But I felt that if I miss out on that, so I put public relations advertising number 2, so that if I miss out on that, I get what I want.
You wanted.
Which was advertising and stuff, because I love creativity. I've always been a writer. I write. I do stuff in the creative sector. So unfortunately,
they picked your number one choice.
And so while I was a bit sad, the family was elated. Everybody was excited. We're going to law, University of Dar es Salaam, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, let me do this. But I was also kind of, not that I was excited, but I was impressed that I actually made the cut, because people were not necessarily making that cut. A lot of people were actually being, denied admission. So that's how. And to me, this is a story of, it's a similar story. I'm very spiritual. It's like a story of Job. Of Jonah.
Jonah, yes.
If this is something that is meant for you, it will come. However, fast forward today, I feel like this was what I was supposed to do. Maybe I didn't know. Maybe I wasn't sure, because even during the bachelor itself, I almost went out of the bachelor. Yeah.
You almost dropped out of the law program.
Almost dropped out. Second year.
Why?
I had bumps.
Okay.
Yes, I actually had a first supplementary. I had a second supplementary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that is in the first semester.
I look at you and I don't see SAP, but...
some of them are questionable,
okay.
Some of them, some people wanted me to sort of appeal, but I remember my dad told me, you know these subjects, right? Do the supplementary. But before we got to the point of doing the supplementary, I already had 2 supplementaries in the first semester. And these were options, not even the core subject, which are even harder. So everybody was like, including myself, was like, no, it's not going to make it, because there'll be big subjects to come, the core courses, which are 6 units. So if you had 2 subs in the options, what's going to happen with the what? So in the process, already started making plans. the funny thing is, the farthest thing you can ever imagine, the plans that were to come. So I already got a university in Cuba.
Cuba?
For sports.
Uh-huh.
See?
Uh-huh.
So you see the possibilities of life.
They were endless.
They were endless.
Uh-huh.
So I already got a bachelor for sports management in Cuba. Needed me to do like 2 years, and it was bachelor and master. It's like a blended program. But it needed also me to learn, is it Spanish or Portuguese, whatever the language.
I think it's Spanish.
Yes. Yeah. So I had to do that, and then I had to do the program. So I was already sort of, my bags were almost packed. And some of my creative works also was speaking to that moment. Because I was writing some poems with regards to Mama Yako, with regards to me being away, having
from
hair.
her.
Yeah, so it also inspired some sort of writings for that purpose. So anyways, it came end of the year, no more subs.
God really wanted you to be in that law program.
God wanted me to do
Yeah, he added those bumps for a reason, but he was like, you're here to stay.
Exactly, yeah.
That's very, very fascinating.
Yeah. So for those people, I would say, again, enjoy your time. Be the best of yourself in whatever things that is making you happy. And the right things will find you. As long as you are good at those opportunities that are coming to you. Identify what you want to do, stick to it, and then you'll see what will happen.
Amen.
Yes.
I like that. The answer was very fascinating. I've known you, and I always thought law is what you're meant to do. All these little bumps, I think I'm also learning about them for the first time. I always say common sense is not always common. I know what lawyers do. But for somebody who has no idea, what do lawyers do? What does a president of Project Management Institute do? Can you just walk us through a day in the life of Kheri Mbiro? What does your day look like as a lawyer, as a father, as a husband, and many other hats that you wear?
Okay, so I'll start as a husband and a father. So in a manner of speaking, I normally I like to sleep in because I usually I'm a
night owl.
I'm a night owl. So and based on that, most of the days I usually wake up around 8, except 4 days in a week. Most of the days it's 8 a.m.
Okay.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays, wake up around 5:45, and
Why so early?
So we do exercises so we have a group of people, and we all actually got in a coach, a basketball coach, that's actually training us Tuesdays and Thursdays for almost 2 hours. So it's proper basketball drills, proper workout, physical workout, including the general basketball drill. So, I mean, you have to be fit. You have to keep fit.
Do you know how to play basketball to join this?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
Because what we are doing is that we are fusing both people that have played before and those who haven't played. The idea is to have fitness and serve something that actually keeps us together. So we have assortment of people. So friends of friends are also coming in now. So the group is almost 12, 13 people now.
Okay.
Yes. So
you have 2 teams and a sub if you decide to play. Okay.
Yes. And soon we're going to register ourselves as a team. We are calling ourselves Vitambi Fitness Stuff.
Vitambi.
Yes. So because that's the idea. I will show you a photo of the BP. Yes. The photo, the profile picture for the group is where we are now. It's a Kitambi guy trying to dunk, and we have a vision that we want to be. There's a guy that we have now pinned that post that here is where we want to be at some point. So so that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On other days, honestly, on Saturdays I usually sleep in because usually I work very late and I have little sleep hours on weekdays. So on Saturdays and Sundays I usually sleep in. Saturdays I usually take in the whole week rest. For Sundays, because usually on Saturdays is my sports day. I watch sports whole day, whole night, depending on the sport. So I watch football. I can go to fights nights, including boxing and UFC. I'm a fan of sports. I'm a pure sports person. So those on Sunday. But now coming for family part, it's blended now because when I leave for work around 8:30, 9, I usually work for the next maybe 8-9 hours. Since Joanna, of course, I try to be home before she actually get to sleep, so that I can actually get to bond, work together, we play together. I love playing with her. We do hide and seek. We do everything all the time. So usually I'm at home around 6, or if latest 7:30. And because of proximity between workplace and home, which is basically 3 to 4 minutes away, so what I do usually is I get home first. I try and stay with the family, and even if I have meetings at night, I will do them after she goes to sleep.
So you make sure you put her to bed, and then...
So when we put her to bed, then around 8:30 or 9, I can even go again around the peninsula, have a meeting for 1 hour, and it's still not 10 p.m. and I'm back home. So that is on the family level and on the normal exercise. But as a lawyer, our firm is diverse. It's diverse in the sense that we are a full-size law firm. We have over 30 professionals working, which means the diversity of services that we give is into the sectors that we are. So I currently oversee corporate commercial department, which includes the things like real estate, finance, banking, mergers and acquisitions for those who wants to buy businesses, those issues, tourism, corporate governance, people that want to set businesses, your contracts, mining, regulatory, licensing, permits. So that department is under me, and it's basically the main department of our firm. So every person in the firm does that. But I'm also the supporting, because I'm also the partner that leads the business development of the firm. So I'm also basically the main account holder of mostly business portfolios that come in the firm. I'm the nexus between other departments also with some of their clients that are coming through our business development. So that means I also sort of handhold other departments when they deal with other people. So I also deal with strategy in other departments, labor, litigation, tax, and others. So on a normal day, I sit as fancy as
it looks
for lawyers. I'm the type that sits in the office all day, or have meetings in cafes, in other offices all day.
Wow.
Because our work is to assist clients to do their core business, to focus on their core business. So we are the ones who are telling them, don't do that because that's a problem. Do this because this is the avenue. Change your strategy to look like this. So we are almost always there in a computer. So that's how they are. However, we also have those other departments whose jobs are totally different. Labor department, litigation department. These guys as lawyers, every day they're in court. Every day they're in court because they have court cases, procurement, dispute cases. They are everywhere. So they are running around. So we only have a unit that does that. And so we work together in terms of strategizing and creating a way forward. So, and in a typical day, we don't have work hours. So I'll give you an example. Your client has been detained at the police station. You can't say I'm already clocked out.
So you work around the clock?
We work around the clock depending on circumstances.
Wow.
Yes, because your client is in China. They're already awake. I'm not saying everybody should do that. So usually I talk to my team and I tell them, this is where you make a difference. This is where you make a choice. You want to be a businessman or you want to be working with or for a businessman? Because a businessman will make it work. Because your client is in China and is asking you, are we allowed to ship these goods to Tanzania? And whatever shipment is about to go out right now. What are the procedures for customs clearance, etc., etc.? Who should we put as a consignee per se to receive these goods? And Your yes or the how part is what remains for them to hit the green button. So as long as you delay that, you are delaying their business. So the choice you need to make is to say, okay, I will stay awake to do this, and then I will sleep 4 or 5 more hours. And that's a flexibility that we usually wish to have with regards to the lawyers that we have. So it's not about work 24 hours. You can be flexible in order to support the client, because if you can't, the problem is, number one, that client will look for another lawyer. Number two, if the backlog or the delay that you're making is also causing revenue loss to the client. So flexibility is key. Some would say that flexibility is for the upper level of management of a firm, but for me, it cuts across. If I need to sleep more because I work more, I believe even the intern also need to sleep more because they work more on the other day. So sometimes we'll give them an off. For example, just recently, when there was, if you remember last week, there was Eid, and then there was Friday, was supposed to come back. I said, no, everybody stay at home because it's a work day for our clients. So you can just be working from home, but stay home, because we didn't feel that, first of all, it's a motivational thing, but secondly, it actually makes them rest better, because everybody needs resting and energizing.
Amen.
So that's, on a typical day as a lawyer, that's it. But background, I was a litigation lawyer for 7.5 years before founding Breakthrough Attorneys. So I know the crazy part of litigation, in the sense that I used to wake up every day. I would have 4 to 5 files to go to court every day.
Wow.
And I'll be running from one court to the other. And it used to be hell, because at the end of the day, our infrastructure back then, including public infrastructure, but court infrastructure, was not as conducive to do this. And I was as well as a junior lawyer growing up, earning my mantle. It was a bit hectic, but it's what made me who I am today. Looking back at it, I appreciate every single second of that, because it actually taught me a lot. It made me prepared. Right now, as a corporate lawyer, every experience I got from the dispute resolution, the litigation aid, made sense of my strategies, because I can assist my clients starting from the end to here, because I know where you do not want to end. And then I retrace. And even a contract, when I draft it, I consider this contract broken and you're in court. And now, how will you survive? How will you win if this becomes a case like so and so? So that's how it is. So it's very important, and yeah.
I have to say, when I see you guys on Suits and LinkedIn traveling to South Africa, going to this place, it looks fancy. But just listening to it right now, I think I might have made the right choice not becoming a lawyer. You shed light into the fact that you studied litigation and now you have your own law firm.
Yes.
Walk me through why the change. I mean, being employed is comfortable. You're always expecting a salary from somebody, but being simply employed, you have to worry about all these people. So one, why did you want to become self-employed? So what was the inspiration? And two, how has that journey been?
Okay. The journey has been beautiful, honestly. I loved my job. I loved my job a lot. And perhaps I loved it a little too much. And 2 months, like we're talking, I did not want law. I graduated law and I did not want again to do law. So I stayed at home for like 6-7 months, and then I started looking like a bum. My girlfriend, your mother.
Now your wife?
Yes, but now my wife. She started speaking. You should get a job. You should get a job. My parents, you should get a job. You should get a job. So I was only having a good time, reading novels, watching movies, having drinks with friends. Playing.
Where were you getting the money to have drinks? You didn't have a job.
So I used to have gigs, assisting research, because we were staying near university. My best friend, mother was working at the university, so he knew some professors, so they were calling us in some research. to be research aids, whatnot. And yeah, so we're making a little bit. And then, again, back then, we did not need a lot to drink.
And you were living at home too?
No, I was renting. I never went back home since I went to university.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and actually that was one of the points. When you graduated, I asked, my rent was running out, and Mzee was paying for it because I was in the uni. So when I told him, I need rent for this month, for this year, he told me, Mzee, we're paying for you because you're in university, you've graduated, come back home.
Yeah.
But again,
you wanted your freedom.
I wanted my freedom. So in a manner of speaking, I said, sawa. Then I made things happen and I got the rent. And then this Mzee was actually, I think, testing me. Because the rent, by the time we were talking, the rent was due 3 or 4 months to come. In the 4th or 5th month, he calls me and says, Mzee, you got rent, eh? I'm like, I did. So that's it. But anyways, I was still there. I was still unemployed. So when I was out of options, because I was applying everywhere else, when I was out of options, I said, okay, what do I do? Let me just find a law firm. I get myself attached and things will happen. So I did find a law firm by help. Now, coincidentally, the person who helped me get attached is my current partner. And this was 2008, year 2008. And so he found a law firm, brilliant law firm, Marando Mnyele and Company Advocates. It was one of the leading, if not the leading, litigation law firm in Tanzania by then. So I joined there. And 2-3 months into it, I didn't want to do anything else in my life.
You fell in love with it?
I felt in love with law, and it was everything. I felt that I'm in the center of it all. I could be in anything. You see, there's a reason why they say law is, they say lawyers are learned brothers. It's not like everybody else is not learned. The reason is that when you are a lawyer, when you are a litigation lawyer, you go into every field. You go into every field. There is no other profession that go into it. It's not that we are that professional. So it's not us as lawyers by reading laws that we are learned. No, it's because of what we do. So as to apply everyday life. If I am defending a doctor, I need to understand the anatomy of the body. I need to learn it so that I can actually question the other guy. I need to ask him, you are saying that my client, the accused, has been hit by a club here, but you're saying the victim is paralyzed here. How is that possible while the left brain controls the right side, this right side? So I need to understand that so that I can do my job better. So that's why they say lawyers are learned. That's the idea. So based on that, I felt like I'm into everything. So I was into community cases. I was into the biggest graft corruption cases. I'm into the biggest contracts. So all the big cases, the Babusea cases, the Costa Mahau cases, EPA cases. If you know the EPA cases, you know?
I do, yes.
Exactly. So I was into media. Magufuli, may he rest in peace. The fishing nets cases, all those cases, we were there. Cases about Tanesco and IPTL, we were there. We were the law firm that every case, including the longest ever serving case in Tanzania.
Which one is that?
I've forgotten the name of the case. The case is over 30 years.
Okay.
Yes, it's BOT and a certain family that was actually claiming money.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So, in a manner of speaking, I felt good, but I was comfortable. The life was good. The life was good, and I was climbing the ladder,
the ranks,
the firm very quickly. I actually, I got to senior associate within a very short time, and I was number 3 in the firm in the sense that there was a senior partner, managing partner, and then there was me. I was up for partnership. They were paying me well, very well. I was too comfortable. I'm going to say a figure, and this is back then.
How much were you making?
Around 6.8 a
M?
month.
Before
Yes.
taxes or after taxes?
This is after taxes.
6.8 million.
Yes, part of it was being paid as weekly allowances, 650,000 every Friday.
Whew! You were living the life.
So
you should have adopted me then.
And there was nothing to show of it because I was a young guy. I was enjoying. And one thing about this is that you feel that I will make it tomorrow again. So you're not planning, and this is the biggest problem with most professionals. With most professionals, especially in our cadre, is that you become macho. That I'll make it. I made it yesterday. I'll make it again. So now the thing is, I got to a point that I felt there is more that we're not doing. There is more that we can give. There is more that we can sell, but we are not, because we were put into one box and we were not trying to do it. And my bosses were welcoming, but were hesitant to make the move. So during this time, I kept on doing plans. If I was here, I would have done this different. I was here, done this different. And then 2014, I felt sick, very sick. I had major surgery, because of work and everything. I had intestinal blockage, so I did a major surgery. So they cut out part of my small intestine. So it took me like 4 months out of work. Out of it, I also got a condition because of some medical issues. I got a DVT, if you know it, deep vein thrombosis.
No,
so it's a clot in the major blood
the artery. Okay.
So when that clot happens, it's very painful, and then it's very dangerous because that clot can move to any part of your body.
Wow.
So I also had that. So I was out for 4 months, 2 months of which I wasn't even walking. I couldn't walk. So I thought I'm done. Thought I'm done because I've not recovered from surgery. I cannot eat. I cannot walk. I cannot do that. So I thought I'm done. So I feel like it was an epiphany moment, like a awakening. So during that time, I was like, there's more that we can do. There's more that we can do. But when I was recovering, so it's like God was telling me, like, do it. Just do it.
Go on your own.
Go on your own. Try and do it. So it was not because I was not satisfied, because I was overly satisfied. I was okay, totally. But I had to go take a leap of faith and start things. So I started a firm with my friend. So it wasn't even Breakthrough Attorneys. It was something called MK Generis. And I started this with my best friend. You see? So we started this, and when we started it as I was recovering, and I expected to sort of, it's a fun thing to do, and it was also my sort of support to my friend, because he had also got admitted to the bar as a lawyer, but he wasn't doing anything. So I was like, I can support you. So it wasn't like that. But after the sickness, that happened. It was like, okay, then out of something, we actually got the first client, and it was a big bank. Yes, we got a big bank, and they signed a retainer. So this was me before going back to the office. So we got that client. And then we got another client, an Indian mining firm, that actually gave us a retainer of $1,000, I remember, a month. So we were getting started. And so I am very ethical by nature. So when that happened, I said, we can't be supporting these guys without having an office. So we had to find an office. And fortunately, we got a good one at Mayfair Plaza, the executive suite. We actually had 4 rooms, a boardroom, whatnot, that we were sharing with one other company, an insurance agency. So we were there, and we also had it there. So when I got better, and I started going back to the office, so my plan was, again, my wife asked me, so what is the plan? I said, maybe a year and a half, then I will move here. So I went back to my office, employed, and I sat in that desk, and I just couldn't. Because
Your
first
time
of all,
was up.
yes, my time was up. First of all, I just could see the contrast of the dream But secondly, ethical. I asked myself, what if I one time advise through that firm and the client comes here for second advice? Or what if they pick the other side of from the bank picks this, and then they see a document that is signed maybe by me. So ethically it wasn't.
There's a conflict of interest.
It was a conflict of interest, and it's not advisable. So immediately I signed a resignation. So I signed a resignation without any plan. I didn't have anything saved. I didn't have, but I had belief that this is the right thing to do, and I will survive. So I went from, in a manner of speaking, from the 6 plus,
yes, 6 million
to
plus,
nothing, because we didn't have any salary kept, and we weren't even paid the retainer of that first. So it was a leap. So the last salary for me, I used to pay the employees on this side, and then that was also short-lived because soon we realized we hadn't really talked about the business plan of the firm, and we weren't sort of aligned with my friend with regards to what are we both willing to do for that firm. And within 2 months, we realized that. Coincidentally, to the same time that my current partner was also planning now, he was also resigning from his post. He was a big guy where he was. He was company secretary and head of and director of legal services for Japan Tobacco International. Okay. So he was also resigning. So we have similar stories. So he was also resigning there to start Breakthrough Attorneys.
Interesting.
So when he did that, so he gave me a call. He said, me and you have been planning for 7.5 years to open a firm. It hasn't been happening. This year I've done differently. I've opened it up first, and now we talk. So that something pushes us. We must do it. Where are you? And I've told him I've left Marando Mill, I'm here. And then he was like, what? So can you help me set mine? So the next 1.5, 2 months, it was me helping him set Breakthrough Attorneys. And
not knowing that you're also going to be part of that.
I'm going to be part of it. So when we were setting it up, after 1.5 months, he told me, I can't do this alone. Please join me. And then I was like, okay, this guy. And then at that time was when I was now realizing that me and my friend, we were not aligned. And
I think I know this friend.
You know the friend.
Yes.
And he's not he was not necessarily interested in law. But it was beautiful for me and him to have it. We were both very happy.
Brotherhood. We have something together.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and to say the truth, it was very beautiful that this happened at that time, because it helped us do it mutually and protect the friendship that we're having.
Okay.
And this is also a school for other people, that it's important for them to understand that even when you are friends, you can do business as friends, but before you are friends, you need to do it rationally. What's the plan? What are you bringing on the table? What are you ready to do? How much time will you put here? What areas do you wish to develop yourself so that you can put on the table? So these are the questions that we usually don't do, because we're on that high of friendship,
and we want to work together,
and the pleasure of saying we're going to be together. That usually is a problem. So it really worked well for everybody involved. So immediately I decided to join my partner, and that's how Breakthrough happened. And here we are now, 10 years later.
Damn, 10 years?
Yes.
Wow. It feels like yesterday. That has been quite a journey. As I said, I've known you for years. Some of these things I'm hearing for the first time. Some of them I've already heard them. You spoke candidly about knowing or having your values aligned as one of the most important things in setting up a partnership or a firm, and many, many other things. So I want you to paint a picture for us. One, what are the achievements of having a law firm? What would you say, this was a win for me? And I understand running a business has its challenges. What are the obstacles for somebody who's like, you know what? I look at Harry, I look at the other Mr. Mbiro, and I want to be like them. But they're just seeing the suits, like me. I see the suits. I see you guys on LinkedIn. What are the obstacles? What are the challenges? And most importantly, how do you guys overcome these challenges as a team?
Okay. So now I understand that different times and different stages of an organization presents different type of challenges. As a startup, the first challenge was usually business model innovation. And this is not something that we speak a lot. And I have, in my own scheme, vowed to train and advocate for business model innovation for other businesses. Because most of the time we get it wrong.
So I'll stop you right there. Being business model innovation, for somebody who's listening, in layman's term, what is business model innovation?
It's basically the plan regarding how you're going to do the business and what you need for you to do that business.
Okay.
And how will you grow it.
Okay.
So that keeps on changing depending to where you are.
You are. So it evolves.
So it evolves,
okay.
Yes. So the needs, for example, let's speak about the people needs. The people needs for a startup are different for a company that is in its 10 year of business. So if you are trying to take need of the people that you need for here, it's different if you are trying to do countrywide. But if you now decide to say we are going Africa or regional, you will need people that have experience in this region. So it means for every stage, you need different type of people, which means for a business owner, you need to be ready to say, Harry, we've been with you so much for these 6 years that we are here now in everywhere in Tanzania, but Harry, you don't know Kigali. So you need a Harry who knows Kigali, who knows Kinshasa. So if you have someone who has worked with Coca-Cola for the
region,
so definitely that's a better person for this position than Harry. But because you do this, you can embrace Harry, and then the company will be slowing down because Harry will need to learn. So you see, so as a business person, before
it's very cutthroat.
It's very cutthroat, very cutthroat. But when we started, we didn't understand this. So. And even the business of innovation, we thought, which is a common thought for many people starting business, especially lawyers. We think looking good, having a good office, having flashy, poshy stuff attracts clients. It's business. So most do that mistake. So you'll invest on maybe 100 million in the office, beautiful, nice carpet. We'll put beautiful big computers, whatnot. Yes, people will sit and say, okay, but how does that tell me that you are very good at contract law? So we thought that will announce us in the market, and Breakthrough did not start small, started really high. I will not mention the capital, but started really high, really, really high. We came to the fast growing CBD of the office. The first office was in Oyster Bay at Oyster Plaza. The rent itself was very steep in dollars. It wasn't a startup rent.
Oh, wow.
It was very high. Then the nature of the office. So we thought being there will attract these big companies. We will attract, the building itself had Pan-Africa Energy, Lafarge, Drive Dentsu, Swala Oil and Gas. We were the only local, Oman Energy. We were the only local law firm. And
so you thought all these are potential targets?
Here, these are potential targets, but that's not how corporate law goes. Corporate law goes with trust. So you need to build trust, not build flashy image. They'll look at you and see you as a flash lawyer, but they cannot come to you with their kitchen stuff. So they'll need someone to tell them these are good lawyers. As much as we took so much unnecessary cost, as part of capital, it only worked to sort of delay or elongate the time that we can actually come into becoming something tangible and stronger firm. Up until we left that building, we didn't get a single of those guys as a client. We couldn't, because we hadn't communicated something that we should have, value proposition, as a law firm, what are you good at? You can't be good at looking good. You can't be good at having a good office. You can't be good at having an office in a beautiful venue or street or side. So you need to actually curate the story. And this is a business model innovation that I'm speaking for law firms, for professional consulting services. What are you offering as much? So again, this is the first challenge, lesson, but also a way out. We went back to a drawing board. We said, okay, let's go around and tell people who we are. Because the venue is not enough. We started setting up meetings. So we started going and introduce ourselves in places. So our administrative assistant was busy. She's a good friend to date. She's no longer with Breakthrough Attorneys, but she's been a very good friend. So she was busy. She was even starting being a self start herself, setting up in meetings that we didn't even know. We started going, but then again, it didn't work as well, because you're going there, you're meeting someone you've never met before, you're telling them that you're a good lawyer, you're giving them a beautiful firm profile, people in suits, beautiful photo taken by a good friend of mine, Ose Sinare.
Okay.
So they're brilliant, and people are like, what? Remember, this is 2014, 2015. So colorful, but someone is like, okay, I see something, I hear something.
But where the tangible results?
But what's it? I mean, how do I trust you? How do I give you a $1 million deal for you to advise? How? I can't. So you see, so we didn't know. So sometimes I'll tell you a story that one day wanted to go to the People's Republic of China's commercial center. So we were told that there's a commercial center. So we said, okay, it's there. So we got direction and we went. So with our branded van ourselves, with our suits, Vinton and I, went there, parked outside, and then we went to the guard's post and they started knocking, and then the guard slid out, the window open, and it's like, okay, so hello, say, okay, we have a meeting, wanna meet the head, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he pressed the button and the gate started sliding. And when the gate slid open, there were people there in military attire. And it wasn't the commercial. And when it opened, some of the people, the leader of the people, they were like, close the door, close the door. He was telling the guy, close the door. And then it was closed. And then we were like, what? This is not a commercial. Turned to something else. We went back to the office. Drained, desperate, because we are incurring a lot of cost. We are not converting business. We are struggling. So went back to the drawing board. So the drawing board was, okay, let's tell people our story. That's when we started investing in writing. So branding. Yes. So branding and communicating type of brand that will associate people with excellence. Because people need to trust you in order for them to come to you for a lawyer. If someone tells you you are now tried by murder, you know a lot of lawyers, but surely you will, out of those lawyers, there are people that their names will be on top. There's a reason their names are on top. It's not just because they're lawyers, because there are so many lawyers. And I use this to train a lot of young lawyers. I usually tell them, each year in your class, there's 200 of you. 200 of you that know evidence law, land law, everything. Another university, so a total of university in Tanzania actually produces maybe 2,000 to 500,000 lawyers in a year. All of you know evidence law, civil law. However, if a client comes, they'll pick one. There is a reason they're picking one, and this reason is not that this person knows evidence law, civil law, because all of you knows that. Trust, goodwill, you have to establish that. So we went into doing that. We started writing a lot of articles. Our articles started going around and round and round, and all of a sudden people started saying, breakthrough attorneys, breakthrough attorneys. So the name started becoming something. And within no time, in a year and a half, we are getting tenders that we are being invited. We do not even see them.
Oh, wow.
We are getting emails, dear breakthrough attorneys, and we do not know anyone inside. We just get emails, dear breakthrough attorneys.
Call referrals.
Exactly. So dear breakthrough attorneys, we have advertised this tender. Please apply. There's one tender I will tell you. It said 3 years of annual financial statement. So we wrote back and said, unfortunately, we can't apply because we've only been in operation for 3 years, which means we have only 2 years financial statements. Believe me, they rewrote.
They rejigged the contract.
They said, yeah, because by
RFP.
law they can. Yes, they changed the RFP. They said for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And
because they really wanted to work with you guys.
They wanted to work with us, among others, because at the end of the day, it wasn't a necessary requirement for people to have 3 years annual financial statement. So it was one of conditions that they could waive. So instead of actually limiting to have more people that they can assess, they actually changed those terms and they put it.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's one of the key challenges. The second challenge is people, always getting the right people. And we learned that we have to be patient. At first, we wanted to hire 2 associates, and we needed to have a pool. To hire those 2 associates, we had to sit with 84 people. Yes.
84 people.
Not to sit. We actually had to sieve 84. We sat with about 50 people.
Okay.
Yes. To get 2. Because...
Wow.
Yes, because...
That's excessive.
It is, but because you need more than what is basically given on a normal basis. And this is another thing that I usually now talk to students, to university, to bodies that actually help in order to make them better. Yesterday I was at Mzumbe University with the Vice Chancellor and Deputy Vice Chancellor. This is what we were speaking as well with regards to making these students ready for the market. So if you want to compete, you need to have the right people. So that's the challenge that we needed to have. But because of that patience and because of how meticulous our process of recruitment has been since the word go, we have always gotten good people at our firm. The other problem, I'll tell you, is passing down the vision. Passing down the vision is one of the biggest problems because people have to believe in the vision. Because not everybody is patient. Not everybody is a builder. Some people are just passing so that they use it as a stepping stone. So as a leader, as a founder of a business, you need to understand what type of people do you have. Because you need those people. And you need to understand that if they go, sometimes it's good because they also push the brand. When somebody puts in their CV, I worked at Breakthrough Attorneys, it's something. The brand is going around. So as an employer, don't be mad that somebody is leaving. It's a bump. You need to recover. You need to do what? You need to substitute. However, it's still 3 or 4 of the people that left us. They came back as clients. They actually brought their new organization. So it's a loss, but I love Mandela's saying. It's one of my favorites. It's actually a mantra in my office. It says, I never lose. I either win or learn. So look at it that way, you do. So passing down the vision is a problem. And as a leader, it's a challenge. You always have to do it. And you have always to ask yourself, number one, where do you want to go? Do you want to stay in that chair forever? See, I became a partner at Breakthrough Attorneys in the age of 33. 33. No, 31. 31, okay. At the age of 31. So at the age of 31, do I really want to stay at 30 years in my chair? No, I don't. And that's why I really have early retirement plan, and I am into my last 2 to 3 years. Yes, because there's more to do. And if I sit here, I'm sitting on ideas, I'm sitting on people. So as a leader, John Maxwell, you should read that book. Developing Leaders Around You is my favorite book about leadership. So he says, imagine your dream. Imagine how big it is. Imagine how driven you are. Imagine how committed you are. Imagine how creative you are. Now, imagine how massive that is. How long can you carry it? And how far can you go? You can't. You'll get burnt out. But then he asks a contrast question. Now, the same thing. Now, imagine with all those attributes, imagine if there were 5 of you.
To carry the vision forward.
Imagine. And you have different strategies. Because you have one strategy. You can't argue, you can't with yourself. But imagine if there are 5 of you with the same vision, same drive, and different ideas. So imagine if you put them together. Imagine how far it will be. And that's what Breakthrough Attorneys is. Okay. That's why you can see the likes of Joseph Waziri, you can see Oliver Mkanzabi. Yeah. These are market leaders in their specific area. Regionals, you get Vintan. And now Zanzibar, we have Alphonse Gura, man very massively sought after.
Oh, wow.
Yes, leading Zanzibar. And with that, you can even see retirement plan is feasible because, and that's why you can see I can drive with project management now here, there, because the house is stable. The structure is very stable. Yeah.
That's good.
So that's the other challenge.
Those are the challenges. You spoke extensively about the challenges, but you didn't talk about the highlights. I know you mentioned that you do have great people. You have an excellent team, Joseph, Oliver, just to name a few. What are the other things that came out of having this excellent law firm?
Oh, a lot. First of all, my life is good.
As we can tell.
My life is good. I love my life. It has given me opportunity for me to explore other things. Law makes you connect. It connects with people. I learn a lot. And I tell people that you always have to learn every day. Every person you meet an Uber driver, learn something. They will tell you something. They will tell you about the struggle between them and the company. They will tell you about their lives. They will tell you about how they are not actually exercising what they learned at school. Perhaps they have degrees, but they're doing that. They will tell you something, but also something you can learn about how to talk to different people. So everything is an opportunity to learn. So for me, being a lawyer has assisted me to learn a lot. And number 2, it's with the learned profession. So for example, currently, I'm into several boards. So now PMI, of course, project management. Yes. I'm into the Alliance Française board. I'm the secretary of Alliance Française. I'm into the NGO sector on the side of health a lot. So I like philanthropy. I like giving back. I'm into startups and innovation, into several boards. But now I have also taken another board in the education sector because I want to learn the education sector. And I want to give what I know to the education sector in order to make it more impactful. So these are the highlights. Other highlights is that I've been able in my life to assist people that needed my help to survive. Some of them criminal cases, life cases. Some of them death sentence cases. I've helped them. I've helped people. I've helped businesses grow. I've helped Tanzania to actually come in and get opportunities of big investment companies, big projects. We're just bringing in a chain, hotel chain from Mauritius with over 17 hotels in Mauritius. They're coming in Tanzania. We've just acquired the first hotel, and yesterday they're telling they wanted to acquire another one. So,
are they taking you guys to Mauritius? Can you take me?
I think we can plan about that. We can plan about that.
Good.
So with that and multiple other stuff, we are the leading firm in the space of startups and innovation. So we do help. So we work with the Tanzania Startup Association to nurture startups. So we help them to navigate the legal and regulatory framework. I sit with between 10 to 20 startups a month, mentoring them for free, pro bono.
Wow.
And young people, because I like empowering. And with empowering, there will be a next person like that, and another one, and another one, because that's the range. So these are my highlights, because I can see tangible effect of my work to other people. And my love language is acts of service. So in a manner of speaking, when I do that for me, I feel super fulfilled. Very much.
Amen.
So that's the highlight of my professional life.
Amen, amen, amen. This is very inspiring. Very, very inspiring. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. Breakthrough has been your bread and butter for a long while now. And you rightfully mentioned that you sit in a lot of boards. As of recently, you became the president or the chairman of the Tanzanian chapter of Project Management Institute.
Yes.
as a person looking from outside in, I can't seem to marry project management and law. That's one. So I'm trying to understand why project management and law. But most importantly, for people who have never heard about project management and are interested in pursuing that field, why project management and why a chapter here in Tanzania? Why should they take part in it?
Okay, thank you so much with that. So as I've said, I'm all over.
You're all over.
I'm all over. I'm into law, I'm into technology, I'm into creative sector, I'm into events and venues, and multiple others. Let's pack this. At PMI, I will say what PMI is.
Yes.
We say everything in life itself, which has an end, a beginning and an end, is a project. Anything is a project. So in our own rights here, all of us, we are project managers. Might not be certified, skilled, or whatnot, but we are project managers. So some of us are very bad project managers, some of us are very good project managers. So PMI is Project Management Institute. It's a global institution that deals with the excellency in managing and dealing with projects. We want projects to be within the standard that they are meant for. And the standard here is under something we call scope. Scope usually deals with things like cost, like quality, and time. So if you don't address these, you have a problem with your project. And that's why we are saying the project barabara imeenda kama imekuwa mbovu, sio kama itakiwa, au over budget, au kwamba hela, au time. Mradi utakiwa uishi ndani ya siku 3, kazi imefanyika siku 7. There is a problem there. So PMI, what it does is that it collects the global acceptable standards and experiences into instruments that can be learned everywhere and help people to be skilled at that level. So we have a lot of certifications for people to actually getting skilled in certain areas. So we are into over 200 countries. Tanzania is one of them. The chapter here is 6 years now.
Okay.
There are certifications that are there. The gold standard globally for project management is something called PMP, which is Project Management Professional. You get this, first of all, opportunities will be jumping to you.
So in other words, you're telling me, go pursue PMP.
Please do pursue PMP. However, you need to see where you are in. For example, with what I'm doing, PMP is a bit, it's important. However, it's not core because I'm not technical so much. I'm more on strategy and whatnot. So there are other courses, certifications that you can get depending on your area. You see, and PMP, of course, you are qualified for. Everybody who has worked for 3 years and has a bachelor degree qualifies. Or even those who do not have a bachelor degree but have worked for 5 years in a setting, they can also qualify for PMP. For younger ones or people that do not have that experience, they can go for things like what we call CAPM, Certified Associate in Project Management, etc., etc. But there are other courses like PGMP. We have started one for construction professionals only. So it's like a PMP, but for certified. So it's more built-in environment for people of that type. But there are also stuff like, for example, what I want to go for, something called PBA. I know this will be for you too. Professional Business Analyst.
Analyst, yes.
So that's also a certification. There is a certification for risk analysis and management. There's a certification for people in the software. It's called Agile. And
yes,
exactly. So that one is also there. So depending with your field, depending with your placement in terms of level of career, depending with the needs of where you want to go next, you can pick in our buffet of services. Anyway, so why did I?
Yes, you as a lawyer, why project management?
Let's go back to that box we put. There's a lot. Law, this one, board, blah, blah, blah. A lot. So I was struggling to find a balance of how to manage as a project manager, because I am a project manager, but I didn't know how to do. So I actually went in and fortunately, and I'm very happy for what we call authorized training partner in Tanzania. They're called Haro Consult. They invited me for a one-day introductory course to project management, and I sat there and I was like, why didn't I do this before? Why didn't I? So after that fresher course, I asked them, what do I need to do first? I don't have time now to do any certification, but what do I do? So they sort of advised me like, okay, be a member, because you'll get trainings, you get seminars, you get materials, whatnot. So,
are they for free?
No, membership is not for free.
So the membership is not for free, but are the trainings accessible for free as a member?
No, at a discounted rate.
At a discounted price,
yes,
okay.
But training is not done by PMI as us. So we have those guys, authorized training partner. So they have their rates depending on an authorized training partner.
Okay.
So yes, but exams are being done by us and accreditation by us as PMI Global. So I joined as a member, and immediately I love it. I'm finding it better. I'm going to give you an example of projects that we usually do very badly in our life. Family. We don't actually decide the scope. Most of the people we get married, we do not even know what we want. What will I do? How much will I put in this marriage? You see, am I real here forever till death do us part? Because that's the timeline.
Yeah, that's the timeline.
That's the timeline of the project. So most people will go in, they are not even sure whether that is what they want. My favorite example, Kitambi. I say, I want to take it out. It's a project. Because you say, I want to be fit to fit in my suit by December. It's a project. There's stuff there to actually
That
take
needs to
care.
be
Time,
the time frame, the
cost
scope.
of doing it. You need to get new sneaker, blah, blah, blah. You need stakeholders as well, people that you can run with. Because if you don't have those, you don't have accountability. You see, so everything. Most of us have lost a lot of money because we wanted to build our first house when we got our first job. Lost a lot of money because we did not take it as a project and that it needed specific skills for us to build.
Amen.
So with those things, I was in the right place. And I found myself there, and immediately I got appointed to the board. So I started 2022 as vice president of volunteers. So I stayed in the board for 1 year, and it was time for election. And somehow, something happened. The board nominated me for president, and the members approved and voted yes for me in the annual general meeting, February of 2023. So I became president for a tenure of 2 years up to February 2025, and I'm eligible for re-election. I'm not sure if I will.
I was about to ask, are you going to run again?
So the answer is it depends.
Okay.
We have a vision. And if that vision is achieved by then, I will not run. And the reason is I will not be the right person to run the organization if we achieve those things. We will need a more technical person, a more person that is project-oriented with regards to experience in coordination and whatnot. And that will not be me. So, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to face the camera. I wish most African leaders knew this. If you don't have what it takes, please. I'm not going to mention any presidents because I don't want to be banned from visiting any countries. But African leaders, you realize that, you know what, if you don't have what it takes to drive the vision, you don't need to be there for 5-10 years. But I digress. Now I want to get personal. So for the longest while, Anita and I were your adopted daughters. However, God blessed you and Mommy, and you have our little sister. Tell us how that has changed you as a person, as a father, as a husband, now a father, and also professionally. How does that look like for people maybe who are looking to become parents in the next few years? For people who are, their priorities and options were different, but now there's something else that has been added in their life. A person has been added. How has that changed you?
It has changed me a lot. And so it has changed and it hasn't.
It hasn't, yes.
I will explain. I have always been a people person. I love kids, always. And I always knew that God will grant me and grace me with the blessing of children. And So the coming of Joanna has been special in the sense that it solidified my love for kids. And you see me and Joanna, it's just crazy. The house. So now Kate used to have problems with me. Now she has a problem with me and Joanna because there's two of us against her. And yeah, she doesn't know what hits her every day. So
double the trouble.
Double the trouble. So that's number one for what it has kept, that has been there. But what was not there is I used to sort of bury myself with work. That's number one.
You're a workaholic.
People say that. People say that. I don't know, but I am that. I'm sort of a perfectionist, if there's something like a perfectionist. And I tend to put first thing first into perspective most of the time. And it made me sort of use a lot of my time doing work. Coming of Joanna has restructured me in the way I do my work. Like I said, I would come from work early so that I just spent an hour or two with her, play, do homework, whatever, and then I will go back to work after she goes to sleep. You'd see yesterday when I was driving and we were coming back from Morogoro late, and when we were at Bunju and it was 7, I texted Kate. So I called her and she didn't pick. She was in a meeting. So I texted her, please don't let Joanna sleep. So that is what it has done. It has created, and in a manner of speaking, it has even solidified the bond between me and Kate. We are closer. We communicate more and more, and it has, grown the bond and love that we have in the sense that we are one. Secondly, it has made me also sort of or fast track the plans with regards to saying, I want to be there in the community and the family. And this is why, of course, my plan was to always retire when I'm between 40 and 45. I'm about to be 41 in 2 weeks. So that plan has been fast-tracked, and now I can't wait for it. And because we have plans to not even stay in Dar es Salaam. We want to go up country where there's a river, something like that. So that has brought me. But with regards to work, that has pushed me to break my back even more, to become more cutthroat and more strategic in terms of creating generational wealth. So it's a long-term plan now more than short-term. I've always long-term, but now it's long-term not for me, but there is something, and we are still looking at investing for her and her siblings to come. Is it during my birthday or during what? I remember.
Your birthday is coming up, by the way.
Yes, it's coming up soon, yeah, daughter. So I remember, it was last year though. I don't remember the date exactly. And then, I think it was during my birthday. And Kate, my wife, said, Joanna, what will you get Daddy present? You know what she said?
What did she say?
And that changed me so much. She said, I'll buy Daddy a home office so that he stays home more.
So she can see more of you. Oh.
So that's what she said. That was last year. So I was like, okay.
That's a cue for you to speed up that fire.
Exactly.
Exactly. Early retirement.
Exactly. And right now, Kate is doing her home office, and I think I'll be stealing some of the time. I'll be crashing there, especially with her traveling a bit. Sometimes I'll be spending it there. So for people that are actually looking out, thinking, or coming into parenthood, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing. I love the South Soul song. I don't remember. Nerea, it's called. Nakupenda Nerea, ustoe mimba yangu. It's called kwamba kila mtoto anakuja na sahani yake. So don't be scared. Kids are blessing. Kids are blessings. Yes.
They're opening up doors.
Exactly. It's God that usually gives, and if you believe, God will provide. Yeah.
It's very beautiful to see you in this season. Now we're going to wrap up this interview, but you had said something that I thought it's important for other viewers, the ones in Tanzania especially, to know. We don't hear a lot of people planning to retire early. I read this in most of like my Instagram, the people that I follow overseas. You're probably one of the first few people that I know in Tanzania who talks about retiring early. So very succinctly, if you can give them maybe 3 tips for a person to be able to retire early, because don't people normally retire at 60? My dad is still working; he's in his 70s, part-time. But I love to retire early. The gentlemen here probably love to retire early. What tips will you share with the rest of us?
Okay, number one, I'll start first with the reason. Reason number one. I don't think we're meant to be working every day. I don't really think, and that's, if you're a believer, that's why Adam and Eve were just meant to enjoy life in paradise. If you're a believer. But again, secondly, health. Some of us, our works are very demanding mentally. Like I said, I've had 2 surgeries that have been caused by my work. 2014, 2015, double intestinal surgeries. I've had a panic attack that put me in the emergency room of a hospital, because of how immersed with the work. These are selfish reasons for me to retire early. But now there are institutional reasons for me to retire early. And they make more sense than even the selfish reasons. Because selfish reasons usually don't really push people to retire. Most people stay there for long. But institutional reason is that the organization grows. If organization grows, it needs to create more opportunities for others to come in. Me and my founding partner, we are founding partners, but we are just that. There are people that could take this firm further than us. And if we don't create those spaces, the firm will not go. So we have departments, like I said, tax. Imagine a person like Joseph Waziri, strong tax practitioner in this country, well known. He was head of tax at Vodacom, but he was willing to resign at Vodacom to join us because of the vision. And he's also doing the same. He also has his plan with regards to retirement, and he's building. And just a year, he already has a team of 5 people, and that is excluding litigation for tax. These are tax advisory guys. Just a year and a half. He's already doing that. And this is a team that we did not have a year ago. We have the corporate commercial team. There are 7 people that are there. They're solid. These are people that in their own rights, in the next 5 years, should be partners. And that's why I am confident they will not need me in 5 years. In Zanzibar, we have that. We have the guy, Alphonse Gura, he just joined us. Very good. He was CEO of the Tanzania International Arbitration Center. You see?
And you guys poached and recruited him.
Yes, he was the lead consulting for LSF, Legal Service Facility for Zanzibar, for 2.5 years. And he joined us. Now, he's there. So, creating that plan is the first tip. You see? Creating the plan and executing it. So this is why even my time, you can see me traveling, project manager, you can see me in conference. I have a classmate of mine, he's a partner at Bowman's, Uganda. He once texted me, I see you in conferences. When do you work? I say, this is work. So
people don't realize,
I say, this is me working. And at the firm right now, I'm only needed for hand-holding and quality control for specific strategies and specific transactions. Otherwise, my work includes creating that adhesive for the structure that we have.
So succession planning.
Succession planning. That is number 1. Number 2, creating recurring revenue. You can never go if you do not know what you eat. And because you do not know what you'll eat tomorrow, because everything you get today, you're eating today, and which is the biggest attitude we have, most of us, you cannot plan or expect to retire. because you expect what you get tomorrow to eat tomorrow, what you get day after tomorrow to eat day after tomorrow.
Kwa hiyo ponda mali kufa kwaja doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Okay. Ponda mali, save something.
Okay.
Kufa kwaja iache kwanza. Okay. So try to do that. So there are two schools of thought. Number one, you can definitely save. Create, let's say, securities, get bonds, get in mutual investment funds like the likes of UTT, you see? That's number one. But number two, the same business that you have, create that it brings you recurring income whether you are there or not. So if you survived with 4 million a month while you are working, why shouldn't you survive 4 million a month when you are not working? So if your business will survive you, that business can be paying you 4 million a month and let others now create more and get their share. So you can do that, and that's why big law firms, the biggest law firm in the world, there are usually varying criteria for them measuring this, but one of the biggest, let's say, Baker McKenzie, is an American firm, started over 100 years ago. Do you know the managing partner of this firm right now?
I have no
He's
idea.
a guy from a Brazilian branch. It's not even American.
It's not even
This
American.
is a global managing partner calling shots of Baker McKenzie. So and this is why Baker McKenzie is there today, and is pulling in billions of dollars of revenue a year. The lowest paid person in that firm is $40,000 a year. And these are supporting staff, not lawyers. Lawyers are walking home with over $100,000 a year. That big, over 15,000 employees.
Wow.
So you don't need to be there. Just create a mechanism. My biggest dream, I usually tell people, is that I sit in a airport lounge somewhere, maybe here. I see someone and say, how are you? We talk, and I say, so where do you work? And then my biggest wish, and I hope God grants me that person tells me, I work at Breakthrough Attorneys.
And you don't know who that person is?
I do not know who that person is. That is my biggest dream. So for tips, I think those that create a succession plan. Second, create a recurring revenue going forward and execute it.
Thank you. Now we're going to wrap up this interview, but in a true fashion of, it wouldn't be involved with NATO if we don't do rapid fire question. And this one is more personal. I probably already know the answer to this. You and I are devoted Yanga fans. We have an upcoming derby on Saturday. Yanga versus Simba. What's your take? Who's going to win? I think I know who's going to win, one. But two, who do you think is going to score and how many goals?
Okay, so number one, I saw something somewhere and I'm going to adopt it and quote it as my answer because I respond. So you say, come Saturday, the score will start at 6.
Why does this feel like an insult to Manchester United?
Because when we met in November, I think, it was 5-1. So Saturday, we continue where we ended. We are not starting at 1. No, we're starting 6. So we're going to win. I believe we're going to win Yanga. And I think Mzize will score maybe 1. I think they have the Aziz Ki is the Achilles heel. He knows how to do. They're prone to him.
Lose to Aziz.
Yes, So I think Aziz Ki is going to score minimum 1.
1 goal.
Yes, but I think we got this. Odds are, as a former football player myself, I love football very much. You know that I was actually called for the under-20 national team.
I did not know that. I know you do play a lot of sports, tennis, basketball, football, but oh wow, a man of many talents.
I was. So the ball bounces. So anything can happen. However, odds are we are winning it.
We're winning that match.
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
And if we are not winning that match, I think by the time this rolls, it will be a few months after people can laugh at us.
And the funny thing is that your grandparents, my mother and father, they are devoted Simba fans with membership card. And these days they don't talk to me about football.
I imagine. imagine. They have nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
They have nothing to talk about. Daddy, my dear friend, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a treat. I've been privileged to watch your journey over the last few years, but I wanted the world to know you, to know breakthrough attorneys, but most importantly, what it takes to make a lawyer with so many hats that you wear. Thank you so much for gracing Evolve with Natu. I know next time we're probably having this conversation, you might be retired somewhere in an island, collecting revenues, and hopefully you've met somebody from Breakthrough Attorney that you've never met before.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much for tuning in with Evolve with Natu. Until next time, have a lovely day. Bye-bye.